What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Game of Thrones Season 7 Episode 4 video breakdown. So, there will be spoilers for this episode because obviously it has leaked on the internet. And I wanted to bring you subscribers what I do best, and that is my Game of Thrones video. So if you're new to the channel, a like and a subscribe is super appreciated if you do enjoy this video, because I do weekly Game of Thrones videos as well as so many other superhero things. But this episode was stunning, so I will start to tell you when I get into the spoiler territory. This was an episode which we have been looking forward to a long time. No, not just because a week feels like an eternity without Game of Thrones, but because this gave us the Stark family reunion that we wanted, and we also had some fan service in the form of an epic battle at the end. And I love the way that this season is bringing together characters which wouldn't have ever actually known if each other really existed or never actually met. And that is really cool. And we're also seeing reunions here with the Stark family. And we see Arya return and the guards just don't want to know anything about her. And they're not really interested until she proves that, well, she is who she says she is. And the reunion of the sisters doesn't seem that warm, which is kind of weird. I know it's winter, but there is shit going down. And like they said, when she returns, well, they both had long and gruesome tales to get back to Winterfell. And it felt so warm, actually, to see the reunion, until later on it kind of sort of sours a bit, but the rest of it was actually pretty cool. And it's just nice to see all of this. And it's interesting how this episode was actually split up into two distinct halves. We had the kind of warm romancing, and then, or reunions, not romancing, and then in the second half we had one hell of a battle. This will be insane once a lot of people have actually seen this episode, and it's just fabulous. Just some great CGI, and I can't wait to see this in proper HD. But the rest of the episode, just fun, and it's nice to see Mark Gatiss here in a lot more episodes than I really expected him to be in. It was nice when he was at the Bank of Bravos and we saw him in the episode there. However, we're seeing more of him, and I'm a huge Mark Gatiss fan, and I love the fact that in this episode he is just, all he cares about is the gold. All he cares about is the Benjamins, as we deal from the fallout of Highgarden and the Tyrells being completely smashed, which was, you know, something which we, like I said in my video last week, it was seen off screen, which I didn't like. I wanted to see this, but I can see why they held off off a huge battle, because of the battle we got at the end of this episode. So we're going to head into the spoiler territory here. So if you don't want any spoilers for this episode, please do go away and come back, but please do drop a like before you leave. However, here, the interesting thing here at the start is we have the dagger that was used to try and kill Bran Stark is given to him by Littlefinger, and Sansa later on says that he would only give him something if he wants something in return. And Bran here is actually so far removed from this Game of Thrones. He's so far removed from the world because he's the three-eyed raven. He's seen everything, so he knows exactly that dagger was planted. He knows who tried to plant it and what happened there. So it's kind of interesting he didn't reveal that to Sansa. You would have thought that she would tell him all about Littlefinger and everything like that, and how, like, he's a bit of a dick. But it's kind of weird, again, that Bran didn't release that. Maybe it's more of a sign that he's so far removed, he doesn't care, because he's seen absolutely everything in the world. And he's obviously seen the creation of everything that has happened so far. And his kind of consciousness is higher. He's woke, basically. Bran Stark is woke. But later on, we also see something which we saw through his visions, which was the creation of the White Walkers. We saw the Children of the Forest stab that geezer, and then that was it. We saw the White Walkers created. But we also know from other things that, well, they were created and everything went completely wrong, which is what we saw in the cave paintings on Dragonstone. And it's quite a big thing to see, like, cave paintings from the Children of the Forest when they're so far south from the north. So did they kind of work out what this dragon glass could do? And was that used in that original battle properly and as widely as we knew it here, as they expecting to do it here? And I'm hoping that we see more of this, more references to the Children of the Forest, because really that is undisputable evidence that this has happened. I kind of think it's a bit out of character that Daenerys would be like, oh, well, yeah, if you bend the knee, but you know Jon Snow isn't going to bend the knee, so are you going to just doom the rest of this kingdom? But she is completely on the back foot, so it's not looking good for her here. But Bran has seen everything, so maybe we will see him. I'm interested to see, will Bran actually reveal to Jon Snow his true lineage? And that would be a huge thing as well, because obviously you've got the Targaryens, and will that play an impact into what is going on? Because, well, I kind of thought that when she said, like, you're king, she said that you're the king. Will they obey their king if their king says that this southerner, because he says that a southerner, they won't accept the southern rule. So I was expecting them to sort of merge together and marry. Maybe a bit too much. But they are Targaryens, and they marry, seemingly, from what I remember, they marry inside their own lineage. So looking at that, maybe we could see that wedding there. Now, the end battle was absolutely stunning. Just insane. I love the fact that we had Dickon and Bronn. Bronn had to laugh at that, and it's nice seeing so much of Bronn. Oh God, was I scared that he would actually die. And it's nice to see the Lannister army, who formerly were so powerful. And I mentioned that before in the opening episode. I think it was episode 1 or 2 with Ed Sheeran, where he pops up. And the Lannisters are just sitting there. They're breaking bread with Arya, and they're not this kind of scary force they were. And it's nice to see them absolutely destroyed, absolutely wrecked by the Dothraki. So the Dothraki have completely owned this army and destroyed them completely. All the help of the dragon. And the fact that she turns away from Tyrion, she's kind of getting a bit mad, the way she is angry that all of these plans have failed, blaming Tyrion, thinking that maybe he doesn't want her to succeed. And then she turns to Jon Snow. He says, like, well, if you kill all these people with these dragons and these foreign invaders, they're gonna think that you're just the same as one of these people, all the people who have conquered and ruled them so far. And then she's like, you know what, I'm going to ride my dragon into battle, and I'm going to kill all of these Lannisters who have just come back from Highgarden. So they're all coming back from Highgarden, and then they get destroyed by Dothraki with a huge dragon. But they have their weapon. They have their ballista, I think is the proper term for it, I believe. And, well, it gets destroyed. And it's nice seeing Bronn here. I was so scared that he would actually die. So I was paranoid that he would die here. But he survived, and Jaime Lannister tried to kill Daenerys. However, it didn't go well. He's now at the bottom of some sort of lake or an ocean or whatever it is. And he is in his full armor. And I'm not too sure will they actually get him out. Maybe Daenerys will get him out and use him as a bargaining chip, which would be a perfect bargaining chip against Cersei to try and win this war. So there is that as well. So I'm not too sure if he will survive, or will he actually survive, be saved, and go and tell his sister just what transpired and how screwed they actually are. Because this war sort of needs to end soon, and we need someone permanently on that Iron Throne to be settled to take on these White Walkers in the north, who eventually I expect will be going through the Narrow Sea part on the, I think that's the right side, or East Watch by the sea, and they will invade, not going by the wall whatsoever. So there is that as well. So it's not looking good in Westeros, and, well, Bran probably will produce this information, which is really, really important. And again, Arya as well in the episode, everything has changed for her. Everything has changed for everyone. And I don't think Sansa likes how much of a badass she has become. However, let me know what you think of this episode. What do you think? Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Goodbye.